Welcome to the Stay Hot podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Kelch. Thank you to 14K Sports Media Productions, where game recognizes game. Thank you to each and every one of you that continue to show up each and every night, all the loyal followers. Appreciate each and every one of you all. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you're new, subscribe. If you're not new and already subscribed, be sure to like the video as you come in. Let's see if we can get a few more members tonight. Let's see if we can get some new subscribers. You can also support the show through Venmo. In the top left-hand corner, we got super chats. And if you look at the link in the bottom of the chat, I believe, that is my link to the store. I've put a few new designs in. I'll show the new designs a little bit later. I've already had a couple people who saw the new designs on social media. They went ahead and bought some. So I do appreciate any and all support that I get. I hope you all know how much each and every one of you are appreciated. So let's start the show with this.
You said you came here because you can believe you can win here. Why is that? Kentucky historically has fought against a narrative, against perception. Why do you think you can win big here?
This is going to sound like really, I think because of me, to be honest. I think because of me. I think I know what it takes. I've seen it at the highest levels. I know what it takes to recruit at this level. And you just got to believe, man. You just got to put the ball down and play. There's not really else to be said. Is it going to happen overnight? I don't know. I really don't. If I had a crystal ball, everybody in this room would be really, really rich right now. I don't. And so the best determination of if what you're doing is working is putting the ball down and playing football. And so there's going to be bumps in the road. I mentioned it in the speech. Like, I'm prepared for tough moments and tough times. I've succumbed to that in our process, right? I already do self-talk myself about, all right, how can I stay neutral? When stuff's bad, I can stay as neutral as possible and be very diplomatic in my approach. So that's why. I mean, growing up a fan is great. It is one thing, but I know the players that we can get here. I know that we can recruit north, south, and east. People come to Lexington and love it. I mean, the longer I live there, the longer I'm like, wow, this place is incredible. It's got everything that you want. Great food, great nightlife, great community, great university. It's safe. You got Big Blue Nation. It takes some TLC, and you got to go attack. You can't sit back and wait. That's one thing I refuse to do at Kentucky is the wait. And so I'm really excited about our administration, the direction that it's going. Again, I said I was so fired up that Mitch brought me here. I'm also excited about what the future holds. And so that's why I'm excited. That's why I believe. Or else I wouldn't have taken the job. I would have stayed out at Oregon and coached Dante and stayed out there.
All right, Will Stein, ladies and gentlemen, who was up first in the SEC media days that I think was Monday yesterday. You know, it's been a pretty hot topic on, I would say that he made a buzz or, the media kind of took what he said and kind of ran with it. Some people produce their own narratives, but myself, when he says, Adam Luckett of KSR, mind you, asks him, why do you think you can win here? And he says, because of me, honestly, because of me. I don't look at that necessarily as an over cocky, arrogant type answer. I look at that as a confident answer. And he kind of goes and explains why he says that. He said he has succumbed to a lot of things in his life that's built him for this moment, that has kind of brought him, I guess it prepared him for this moment, I guess. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know why that chat's on here. I don't want the chat. I don't want the live chat on. I've hit something. Um, Give me a second here. Well, I might just have to keep it on because I don't know. But I liked his answer. Although some people, BBN, um, said they didn't. Somebody that's never coached an SEC game before, they didn't like the arrogance, the cockiness. However, I looked at it as more of confident. I like when he says, we're not going to sit back and wait. We're going to attack. Also, let me see something here. Also, like, and it didn't say it in that clip, but, he was on for 20 some minutes. I just clipped about kind of like, he's, hold on here. I'm trying to comment. I'm in comments. Where's, okay. Now, I'll get to the chat here in a second. But, I like the answer, but there's one other thing he said that I thought that I really liked. And he said he's kind of been prepared for kind of mental toughness. He says, we won't be soft. And I'm not saying Mark Stoops teams were soft, because I don't think they were. I think Stoops had some toughness. I think he kind of coached those boys to have toughness, but kind of with strong mental, being mentally tough to me and not being weak is a lot of the penalties we had, the false starts, the offsides, any kind of pre-snap penalty, things like that. I'm excited for Stein. I was very happy to hear him speak at SEC Media Days for being his first year in the SEC and being the first one on the show. Like, he was up first. Like, they had him first. And I don't know or can't even fathom what kind of nerves he had, but I really did like his answers. And, honestly, if you got to hear any of the SEC Media Days, I thought our quarterback, Kenny Mincy, I thought he did a remarkable job answering some tough questions. Talked about him going to Notre Dame and transferring. And, he kind of talked about being the, everywhere he's been and every stop he's been at to this point has prepared him to be at Kentucky this year. I really liked his answers. Willie Rodriguez was really good to listen to. I probably could have guessed this, but Willie Rodriguez's favorite player to watch in the NFL was George Kittle. He said he's been watching him since he started playing football, which, I know Rodriguez is really young, and I know George Kittle's been playing a while, but that was kind of good to hear. And he also said he liked Brock Bowers. You remember Brock Bowers from Georgia, who's a Raider now. Really good professional tight end. Says when he watches clips of players in the NFL running routes, blocking, things like that, he said he loves to block as a tight end, but I got a feeling he's going to be used a lot in our passing game. And this is one of those times, I know former Vince Morrow, I think that's his name. I forget once they leave on, they leave my mind. I don't think about him anymore. But, he kind of went to that other school down the road. He always said every off season that the tight ends will be of just a valuable part of an integral part of the offense. And it seems like they'd get one or two catches a game. And we've had some good tight ends here, good tight ends that can stretch the field and kind of help the running game and passing game. And I don't feel like we used them enough, but Willie Rodriguez seems to be one of those guys that I think will play at the next level. And, he's looking to be, I liked his answers about being a run blocker too. Tight ends aren't just all catching and, and I think our running game, we've got like the second toughest or second best offensive line in the country, according to some people. So, we know what the Big Blue Wall's about. We love the Big Blue Wall, and some of Kentucky's best teams have had a great running game. So I'm excited about that. And then Ty Bryant was really good to talk to. He's a senior. He's been on the program for 4 years. They talked to him about asking him why he didn't transfer. He said he wanted to see who the new coach was, and once he met Will Stein, he knew that he wasn't going anywhere. He also said he felt a connection to the guys in that locker room that he's been there for 4 years with, and he mentioned a couple other players that are seniors that came in when he did, and just talked about the atmosphere, what it means to be a Kentucky Wildcat, and how he had no plans to leave or go anywhere because he felt like he owed it to his brothers, his teammates, and it was just good to hear. And and I'm not saying that what they did this year with Stein and those three guys were any different than what Stoops did, because like I said, I thought Stoops did a great job while he was here. I think he got complacent, and we wasn't getting as much talent there late. And we heard Stein talk about recruiting, thinks he can recruit the North, South, and the East. Not 100% sure why he didn't want to recruit the West. Maybe it's too hard to get him to fly out to Lexington. But, with all that being said, I thought it was a really good day for Kentucky football in the media or at SEC Media Days. And let me tell you this, and you all can agree with this or disagree with this, but here's the truth. When you're first up on a Monday at SEC Media Days at 1:30, and they're still talking about you on Tuesday night and some of the things you talked about and said, that means you made an impression. And there's a lot of national guys talking about Will Stein's quote. I made ESPN front page. And, I like the confidence that Will Stein's approaching this season with. So, on Big Mike's live show that I went to last weekend, they asked about the over and under 4.5 wins. I said Kentucky's let me down a lot. I'd go with the under. After hearing Will Stein speak yesterday, I'd probably take the over now. When he says, why do you think you can win here? And he says, because of me, honestly, because of me, I'd go ahead and bet the over right now. All right, let's see some of the chat. How dare we show confidence? Right, man, but you know how some of our fan base is. Lady bass player, what's up? Glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. I'd love to go back to the Cotton Bowl again. It's been a long time since Coach Bryant took us there. Yeah. You know what? And with the I honestly believe this, Brian, and, I don't know if it'll happen this year. And Coach Stein talked about it. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. But I did like how he said, and he talked about, or it wasn't going to happen overnight, but he believes it can happen with the playoffs extending to 12 teams. There's no reason to me to think Kentucky couldn't be one of those 12 teams. Hell, Indiana just won a national championship, guys. And you know what historically, or how historically bad their football program's been. They just won a national championship. So don't tell me that Kentucky can't make the 12-team playoff. I'm so broke I can't pay attention. Hey, I'm with you, Bluegrass. I'm with you, buddy. But I give you my likes and support, and I appreciate that. Appreciate you being here. Mega podcast happening right. Yeah, I know, Icon. I couldn't really help it. Tuesdays when I do my shows, and he's moved some stuff around because of the TBT. I'm going on Thursday now. He won't be doing a show tomorrow because of the TBT, and I guess he's got tickets. And he messaged me the other day and talking about how things could switch around. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go on Tuesday. Then I'll go whenever he asks me to go to be on his show. And I just couldn't help it. I really do hate at the same time as another UK podcast, and I do support him. If you all wanted to go over there and watch his, that wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit. It'll be here when you all come back. You can watch it on replay or on demand or whatever YouTube calls it. But, I just felt like I wanted to do a show tonight. I'm trying to keep that Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and any other one you all get besides those are kind of bonus. And I apologized it, but being unfiltered when he reached out to me was, he knew he's going to have to move some things around because if Kentucky lost at Louisville in this game 2, then he knew that game 3 would be on Wednesday, and he was going to have to move some things around. So I don't know if I'll be going on with ARC 360 and whoever, I can't remember who else it was, but I really liked all three that I was paired with, but he's moved me to Thursday now, which, you know what? I don't really care who I'm on with. I do want to support others, and I apologize for Austin for being at the same time, but this is my normal time. And with me being pushed back till Thursday, I wanted to go ahead and get a show in. So I do apologize if it's affecting his show. I feel if the leader of my team, my employer, says because of me we will succeed, I'm immediately thinking this mofo believes in himself like that and wants me on his side. I'm up for it. Yeah, that's, I'm kind of I've been called cocky and arrogant my whole life, but I've always said that if it's going to be, it's up to me, and that's kind of the mindset I've taken with everything. No matter if it's, teaching, coaching, and a lot of people have said that they hate coaching against me because they know that I think we're going to win. And when you think you're going to win, that you work a little bit harder, you prepare a little bit better. And, we prepare our teams for every game. And, I've tried to teach my girls having the mindset, like, if something's going to get done, it's up to you. Don't wait around for somebody else to do it. And that's kind of the approach I feel like Will Stein, when he said that, he was built for this. And, we're not going to sit back and wait. We're going to attack. And Idaho, man. Hey, speaking of, my mom's flying out to see me tomorrow night. Well, she's also my brother and sister and family, so I can't just say me, but my mom's leaving Boise, Idaho tomorrow morning, and I think she flies into CVG at 6:30 something, maybe 6:30 Eastern time, which would be about 4:30 her time. So, but I think she's leaving at 6:30 her time in Boise, which is 8:30 our time. So, and I think she's got a layover in Minneapolis, so, or maybe St. Paul. I don't know. She's got a layover somewhere in Minnesota. But, yeah. What's up, Jennifer? Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. Glad you're here. The SEC is college football. The Big Ten's won the last 2 national titles, if you remember. So, I'm not going to get ahead of ourselves as far as that goes. I would so love to beat either Alabama or Georgia's football season. I definitely think Alabama's a possibility. I think we got a better chance to beat Alabama than we do Georgia. Let's surprise a few people. And I definitely think we're going to have the team and the coaching staff that's going to prepare our team and kind of have that dog mentality that, I think they're going to believe they can win every game they step into. And I think part of winning a game is knowing you got a chance and believing you can before the game ever starts. Is it true we have been ranked 45th in football? I'm not sure. I don't know if I've seen a ranking in football. I know that our recruiting class has been ranked pretty well. I'm not for sure as where our team ranked. I think Stoops didn't have any money to work with. Everything went downhill after. Yeah, and it did. And, it's kind of like him and Cal got into a pissing match too late in that, when they're talking about a football school, a basketball school, and going back and forth between the two, when we know deep down that the University of Kentucky is a basketball school. It drives a lot. But I love the fact that our football team is in the conversation now. There was many years growing up that when I watched Kentucky football, they were absolutely terrible. They were getting blown out. And so I'm just going to be honest. I like the direction our football team's going, and I think that all started with Mark Stoops and getting us going in the right direction. So I have no hate for Stoops, but I think after he made that pony up comment about needing more money or put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, I think it went downhill as well. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. You're right, Bluegrass. You're right, 100%. How do you win a half a game? Well, Brian, I don't know if you sports gamble or not. I don't know if you I don't know if you gamble at all, not just sports gamble, but they put that half a game in there so there can't be a tie. If it's 4.5, you're either going to be over, you're going to be under. There isn't any ties. I appreciate that, David, really do. Yeah, it really is. And listen, I like that coming from Will Stein, being his first year in the SEC, like letting the other coaches know that, this ain't going to be no pushover. This team, me, and I kind of like the comment. I appreciate that, Larry. I really do, man. I really do. Is this the year we break that 16-game losing streak against Georgia? I don't know. I don't really know. I haven't looked at all the teams in the SEC. I'll be honest with you. In media days, I only listened to Kentucky. I didn't even get to see. I only got to see part of Kenny Mincy because I got it on late. I got to see all of Rodriguez and Ty Bryant, which are both Kentucky boys. I did like hearing Kenny Mincy talk about, his days at Notre Dame and coming to Kentucky. But I don't know. I think if we're going to beat Alabama, this will be a good year to start. We kind of got Alabama, I think it's for the taking in that second game. New coach, the motivation's still up. We should be 1-0 going into that game after Youngstown State. I think Alabama's going to know this isn't your typical Kentucky team and may put a little pressure on them. I don't know, but I don't know about Georgia yet. Reminds me of Snoop Dogg. I'd like to thank me. I wish I thought about that, Holly, or I probably would have cut that video clip. Last three national. Oh, that's right. Ohio State won. Yeah, Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana. That's right. Barnhart loves Stoops. They were really close. I don't think the pony up comment hurt their relation. Maybe not with Barnhart, but Barnhart's not the one donating all the money. A lot of donors and things. And honestly, I'd say Stoops have got a lot more money from the donors than any other previous, football coach. Our football team was getting quite a bit of money. And when he made the pony up comment, I'd say the pony up comment with the fact that our play on the field wasn't matching the pony up comment. I'd say that and same thing was happening to Cal. I don't think Barnhart would have fired Cal. As a matter of fact, we saw those two sit down together, and I didn't think it was going to happen. Barnhart wasn't going to. I think what happened was, I think the boosters had probably said, we're going to cut off the water supply. Getting beat by Oakland, getting beat by St. Peter's. Last 5 years, Cal here, we didn't produce well. I'd say it was them that was going to cut it off. But I think Cal helped us out a lot by leaving, so we didn't have to pay for that buyout. That's where I think he helped us. I think he has confidence in his abilities. Isn't that what you – absolutely, 100%. If the coach doesn't believe you can win and you can't pass that to your players, what are the players going to believe? Absolutely. I would venture to say we were a football school for a short window. Calipari was still – well, but when I say football or basketball school, I absolutely think – like long term. I'm not saying if you want to know the truth, we were probably a volleyball school before we were a football school. They won a national title in that span in there. But Larry, the thing I saw, they were number 2 ranked offensive line. So you see number 3, so that tells me we're probably a top 5 offensive line. So in the SEC, that's the one thing I think Stoops said and did that probably translated more than anything in the SEC was the games are won in the trenches, the offensive and defensive lines. And our offensive line definitely improved. We had the big blue wall last couple of years. I don't think our offensive line was as good. And I think it really hurt our quarterback's production when you're taking a, 3-step drop and being rushed to throw the ball, or even on 5-step drops, you're getting sacked. And then, I don't think our defensive line, ever since Deion Walker left, we struggled up front a lot. But you know what? I think that's where it all started with Kentucky and getting better in the SEC was in the trenches. Yeah. I get it. But it wasn't at the game against Georgia where we were down 13-0. We picked one off and ran it in, or it was 6-0. Maybe we picked one off and ran it in and they called it back or something. Or we had a big play called back in that game that would have gave us the lead, and we were in it at the half. And then the second half was just a blown, and that was at Georgia, I believe. But yeah, I understand. I remember what you're talking about. Barnhart is a gone. About time. Mitch, please. I've read that Kentucky's upcoming season one. We have the second toughest schedule in the country, not just the SEC. We got the second toughest in the country. I've got my volleyball shirt. Yeah, come on, Holly. Get my man his Elvis and Lorenzen shirt. I bought a volleyball shirt too when they won the national championship, and I also I've got my UK women's basketball shirt ready for this year. Me and Todd and we went to a UK women's basketball clinic. I think it was Kyra Elsie's last year. It was a really good clinic too. Matthew Mitchell spoke and got some good free gifts. Got to watch a Kentucky football game. I did the gritty in the out in the whatever that place is out in the concourse. I did the gritty out there in the concourse, and I got a Tim. Oh, that's nice. Tim Couch, Leslie County man. That's definitely nice. Are we going to play on Black Friday or not? If West Virginia falls through, what's the pivot? You know what? Honestly, Peanut, I've not heard nothing about that since the very first day that came out. But I've not heard nothing since. I saw where I think is it that St. John's and Indiana are going to play maybe on Black Friday. So I did see that. Something else hold on here a minute. He says we could play Murray State in Nashville. Honestly, I think Murray State's the only Kentucky team we've never played. And I didn't know that till recently when I saw somebody else post it or talk about it. Yeah, Peanut, but when you say we could play Murray, I don't think people realize, just how tough it is to schedule about, both teams got to be available. One's got to be available for a home game or a road game, or, you got to make sure Nashville has the arena, available. And that's, I'm not saying you don't know this, Peanut, but I'm saying there's a lot of people that don't realize that scheduling is not as easy as it sounds. And I go through this every year when I'm trying to schedule high school girls basketball games. When I got parents come up and say, "Is so-and-so's got a date open? Why don't you just play them?" Well, our boys have a home game. Their boys have a home game. So we don't have extra facilities that we can just say, "Hey, we're going to play at Grant County tonight," or we're going to play Owen County at Trimble County. There's a lot more that goes into it than both teams having an open date. And, like I said, I know most of y'all probably know that, but there's probably some out there that still believe that. But, I think listening to Will Stein on Media Days has me as excited as I've been for football season. I also know after the TBT, we're getting close to August. A lot of the basketball people, a lot of the basketball players will be going home or taking their last trip home before school starts. And then once school starts, obviously they'd be back on campus, and it'll go from there. So to be quite honest, this will probably, after the TBT, whenever the La Familia gets put out of that, which, we'll talk about last night's performance a little bit in a minute, but, that'll probably be a lot of the Kentucky basketball for a while. So we'll really dive in and focus on football because their first game is Labor Day weekend, I believe, September 4th, 5th range. I can't remember if the 4th is a Saturday or the 5th. Let me check comments here. David says the 5th, Youngstown State. We got in that Youngstown contract when Stoops was here. That's him and Marrow's old stomping grounds. Holly Crash told me he kept his Christmas lights up all year long, so it could be Christmas all year long. So, he can have Christmas in July as well as Christmas again in December. So just go ahead and start buying those for him now. Then he'll have another list ready for you for December. I think that's how that's going to work. Peanut made another good comment up here. Also, in the college level that we don't have to worry about is also the television. SEC Network, ESPN, all those channels and stuff probably, with UK, there's rights and television rights and viewing rights and all this stuff, contracts and everything. It's a lot harder just to add a game. But I think since they came out with it, they're probably working on it. I think some of it probably has to do if, does West Virginia want to play in Nashville on that date? So forth. But Yeah, I hope that I hope you're all getting as excited about football as I am. I think we got a really good chance to be good. I think the better we are, the better the show's going to do. You know, we can even do pregame and postgame shows. I usually watch most of the games on Saturday. But if some other channels doing the shows, we can always work something out to where I can do postgame or whatever. But stay hot will be here, Brian. Stay hot will be here. Don't worry about that. We're not going anywhere. I know a lot of families, and I'm not going to mention any names because some of them are in my family, but I know a lot of people that keep their Christmas lights up all year long. And I'll tell you this, what I've started doing was with my Christmas tree, I've started putting it away with the decoration staying on it. So I just kind of pick it up by the top, take it to the storage with the decoration stayed on it so I don't have to decorate it every year. I've seen some people put saran wrap around theirs to keep everything in place. I just pick mine up by the top and carry it. Not only that, Carl Ravitch. Carl Ravitch has been there 33 years, and I saw where they're getting rid of him. And I just feel like if, ESPN's probably one of the leading networks in the country, not just sports, but just leading networks altogether. And this has to be showing sometimes some kind of corporate greed if they're getting rid of all these guys, right? I mean, is it because Carl Ravitch has made too much money? 33 years in. I'll be honest with you, Crash. I wasn't a big Ryan Clark guy because I'm a Bengals fan and he was a Steeler. And I thought a lot of times when the Bengals played the Steelers, he was taking some unnecessary shots, but I also get it. He's a Steeler. Mike Tomlin was his coach. He's going to take up for his guys, but yeah, I'm with you, man. Todd messaged me earlier talking about Carl Ravitch, and when I logged into my computer, my homepage is ESPN, and right there on the front screen, I saw where Carl Ravitch was going to be leaving after 33 years. Hopefully they can find on or get on a job somewhere. Hopefully they can get on, at least start their own show on YouTube or something. I like these guys. Have a Chevy Chase. I'd love to be able to relive certain scenes of Christmas Vacation and video them. Yeah, but a lot of people put their Christmas decorations up. Like Thanksgiving's one of my favorite holidays because of the food. I love the food. Turkey and dressing is probably my favorite meal. Mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, deviled eggs. I like it all. And a lot of people put their Christmas decorations up in November. So that's why you're tired of them by January, because you've seen them for a month. I never put, when we did our tree, we always just, a week or so, a couple weeks before. ESPN has overextended themselves and overpaid these conferences for the game. Okay, well, that makes sense. Makes sense. Now, Son of Seal, I like you. Don't make me doubt whether or not I should like you or not. You're smarter than that. Nobody likes those guys. I don't even replace that, David. I just throw it all in there. Ravitch was pro Kentucky. I do believe that. Cousin Eddie, David's cousin Eddie. Take it you're not an ESPN fan. Yeah, I saw that, but so did Sabrina Ionescu. So did Kayla McBride. They didn't even give Sophie Cunningham a chance, and she's second in the league in 3-point percentage. You know who first is? Aaliyah Boston. You know who fourth is? Kelsey Mitchell. So I don't know who all they got. I don't usually watch, but Jay Billis was let go as well. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I like Billis. I know he's a homer, but I like Billis. I'm on ESPN right now. I don't see anything on ESPN about Billis, but I'm not doubting you. Maybe it's just not on the front page because it's. Let me go to NCAA basketball. And guys, we should be getting close to the Little League World Series. I always enjoy watching that. That usually comes around in August. I've enjoyed watching that since Kentucky, that team from Louisville, won it. Yeah, I don't know if they don't put it on the front page. But I'm on the NCAA basketball page, and I don't see nothing about. Huh. Well, that kind of surprises me. Hello, M. Fox. I don't know who M. Fox is, but is M. Fox in the chat? Hello, Padula Base. I don't know who M. Fox is, but John Rothstein reporting separation. Separation of Billis or him? I don't. Does Rothstein don't even work for ESPN? I don't think. Maybe, but best bricklayer with all those rebounds. Me throw she. Yeah, that was kind of my initial reaction, Jennifer. Wow, Billis. I mean, really kind of shocks me, but wow. All right, couple things. All right, couple things in basketball. Mark Pope has kind of been doing his best Oprah Winfrey impersonation here lately. Today, the Billis thing was fake. That was not. Oh, okay. That was a not Rothstein post. Okay, that would make me feel better. But I will say that Pope's extended offers to a lot of the 27 and 28 class today. If you follow Big Blue Dylan on Twitter, let me go here and I'll read off some of the names that they've extended offers to for those of you that like to keep up with the recruiting. I know John Boy does, but I've not seen John Boy in the chat just yet. He loves to message me and ask me how we're doing. All right, I'm just going through. Evan Willis, 5-star small forward in the class of 28 we offered. 5-star center Bamba Toure at Bamba2Smooth on Twitter. He's been offered to Kentucky. He's unanimous top 5 player in the class. Extremely versatile. He's a 28. Point guard Brady Pettigrew in the class of 28. Small forward Howard Williams. He's a 4-star in the class of 27. 4-star, but he's ranked in the top 30, I believe, but he's 4-star. 2028 4-star small forward DJ Okoth. Mo Williams has reached out to him, he says. He hasn't talked to Pope. Asa Montgomery, 5-star in the class of 27. He's top 15 player. He's really good from the highlights I've seen. DeMarcus Henry, that is the Chris Henry son that played for the Bengals, wide receiver, that was tragically injured or killed in a car accident, I believe. Yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy. But DeMarcus Henry is one guy that Kentucky has really wanted, and Kentucky's in his final 8. I think he had a brother that went to Ohio State, and Ohio State's also in his top 8 with Arkansas, BYU, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisville, Carolina, UConn, and Ohio State. So that'll be a big recruiting battle. He's number 4 in the class. Caden Daltrey, which he jumped up number 1 in the class after his Peach Jam performance. He had a really good Peach Jam. I think he was most valuable player. Kentucky is really trying to make a push for him as well, which I'm not 100% sure how that'll go. Sometimes when Kentucky gets in late, sometimes I think it's, too late. Not saying they're late on him or not, but I know they had prioritized some other point guards over him. A lot of people have described him Malik Monk in Tyler Eulis's body. C.J. Sweeney, 4-star in the class of 29. Kentucky has showed some interest. I will show you some things that are just crazy to me, but it's this is right here the field of 68, and that's with Dowster and Jeff Goodman. And what they did was they said it in the tweet. I don't have it here, but they said based on their performance at the Peach Jam. So I don't know if they're basing these rankings just on Peach Jam. However, but you can kind of see the listing here. Daughtry 1, Henry 2, Beckham Black 3, Uwo 4, Diggs 5, Reese Austin 6. Reese Austin is he's the guy that he skipped to my lose son that was on the And One mixtape. Reese Austin, there was some talk this year of him, or this week, of him reclassifying to 26. It has since came out saying that he's staying in the class of 27. I'd always read and heard that if it was the class of 26, he'd probably end up at LSU. Kentucky's got a real good shot to land him in the class of 27. But I know Kentucky's kind of gotten in kind of late on him. I think they were, there's several other point guards in this class, like we've talked about for weeks, about how strong this class is at the point guard, whether it be Beckham Black, Reese Austin, Navarro Bowman Jr., Nasir Anderson, I think, is another one. But however, and another guy, I think they're listing him at a combo guard, but I think he plays more of kind of a point guard, is Chase Lumpkin. And he's also set up his official visit, which Kentucky has set up their official visits with a lot of players lately. They set it up with the number 12, that Paul Osarui. He's going to come make an official visit. I think they've been working with Asa Montgomery on an official visit. I know Chase Lumpkin has already got an official visit. Beckham Black's taking an official visit. They're setting up all kinds of official visits. But what I wanted to point out here, we're not going to go through all 70 or 68 of these. They rank 68 because they're the field of 68. So, however, Ryan Hampton has now dropped to number 30. And this is now, granted, this is in the field of 68. 24/7, he dropped from 6 to 11 after committing to Kentucky. I don't know where the field of 68 had Ryan Hampton originally. However, but they've got him at 30 here, and he was actually second in the Peach Jam in scoring. He was second behind Caden Daughtry, and when it comes to points per game. It doesn't surprise me that LSU's that high, Brian, because I'm going to tell you, Will Wade can flat out recruit. Now that it's legal for him to offer money, Will Wade can recruit. That's kind of what it said in the tweet, but I didn't know because, I mean, if you're second in the Peach Jam in scoring, I don't know why you would be 30th. I'm not saying you have to be number 2. But I'm not a bit surprised at LSU's how. Look, they got the number 7 guy already committed, Ahmad Hudson. Will Wade can recruit. There's my nephew right there. Let's go stay hot, baby. Everyone. Yeah, I got new merch coming out. Got new designs. I'll go over those a little bit later. But, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Peanut says, I hope all the casuals recognize we are checking out 20-plus players with the intention of taking only 1 or 2 of them. It's not going to be 18 whiffs. Right. And it seems like every time we recruit, we have to say that. We have to seem like we have to recognize that every miss isn't a whiff. And it's, kind of getting old to do, but it seems like we have to announce that or make that announcement. Actually, the one thing with Hampton I've read is I think Hampton had a really good start. I'm not so sure if he's fallen off or just wasn't able to sustain that type of performance. I think the biggest thing about Hampton that we're going to love is he loves Kentucky and he wants to be here. I'm not so sure he's going to be a top 5 player in the class. I think top 30 is probably where he's going to end up. And I know his last game at the Peach Jam had really turned a lot of people off with his just lack of performance, shot selection. Seemed like he went MIA with some of the not results, but like I think he only shot 6 shots in their final game, maybe 1 of 6 from the field. Some of his shots were bad shots, just didn't play well, and I think it stuck with some people. And you all know as well as I do that in recruiting and rankings and everything, it's almost like, what have you done for me lately? And his last game isn't one to be remembered. So I don't know if he was ever as good as number 6, like he was ranked in 24/7. You got to remember, reclasses and everything changes everything. I'm not sure, but we're probably going to see him drop some more, just depending. And I think that's just something we're going to have to get used to. I've seen some recruiting services have him as a 4-star. He started out a 5-star. So Ryan Hampton's probably not one we're going to be able to put all of our eggs in one basket on. I mean, just like I keep hearing that Braden Hawthorne is struggling a little bit. I know when all the times we see highlights, we see him making a 3 or see him doing something, but I've seen a lot of people comment on his I guess his overall game or his performance in practices, and he's struggled a little bit. And it could be just his adjustment, but he practiced all last year with the team, so I wouldn't think his adjustment should have been too much to adjust to. But Hampton apparently started out really well, but he couldn't stay hot. Hey, there's only a few of us that can stay hot, Crash. That is, I don't think people realize that staying hot isn't something that just comes natural. For example, if Mason Williams is really good, we won't be taking a point guard. I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that. I definitely think he'll take Beckham Black or Reese Alston if they commit, regardless. He's playing 2 point guards this year with Williams and with Wilkins and Zoom, I should say. I'm not saying those guys aren't going to be back next year, but you never know. What if Zoom decides? I know we got a lot of guys for 2 years, but who says they're all going to be here for 2 years? Momcilovic can play 2 years, but I'm banking on just 1 for him. I honestly think that Alex Wilkins has a chance to go pro after next season if he has a really good season with the recruiting class, the class of 27 that's out there. So, if Mason Williams is really good, I definitely think it helps. But I don't think he's going to turn down Beckham Black. He's not going to turn down Reese Alston. And I'd almost bet he doesn't turn down Chase Lumpkin if he wants to commit either. So Larry Bird stayed hot, but hey, I stay hot, Brian. Larry Bird's not even on my level when it comes to staying hot. But, and C.J. Rosser, if you remember, C.J. Rosser at one time was number 1, 2, or 3 in this class. Now, I'm not putting all my stock in their rankings either because I think these rankings are kind of crappy, to say the least. But, I mean, he's ranked number 9. That Darius Wobbington, he's the big guy. He's a big white guy that I really like his game. I think he'd be a Mark Pope type player, and he's ranked number 8. So if I'm going to say this, if those are just on Peach Jam, it kind of made it out to sound like that way in the tweet. So if it's just on Peach Jam results, I'm okay with anything. That I can't speak on any of that because I didn't watch all the games. We wouldn't turn them away, but we wouldn't promise. I would hope. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to deny that one way or the other. Both Holly and I stay hot. We were born that way. Well, only a few of us can be born that way, Crash. I knew from a long time ago that I stayed hot. And when I wear my black shirt that says "Stay Hot," everybody's like, "We already knew that. You're not telling us something we didn't already know." Will Stein doesn't stay. Will Stein's hot right now. We'll see how his team performs if he stays hot. But I can tell you right now, when he tells them in the SEC he's going to win at Kentucky because of him, he's walking in there staying hot. He might be burnt to a crisp. He may not be able to get any hotter right now. Willie, football-y Stein. I feel sorry for Willie, but you know, he's giving it all he has, and but he's just not healthy right now, and it's just not. But let's talk about a couple things with I want to show you all. I'll share my screen, but Kentucky men's basketball put out a whole bunch of practice clips today. And I really do think like this is stuff that I need to see. Like when I see Kentucky basketball put out practice clips, like it makes me happy. If I can now, why is it not? Kentucky basketball. Maybe that'll help. All right, Kentucky basketball here. Let me share my screen. All right, this is what I'll do is I'll make this a little bit bigger for you. This is Alex Wilkins. In practice, this is the clip they put, and I'm just going to have some thoughts on this once it happens here. But this is Alex Wilkins, fireman guard, now at Kentucky. Guys, muscle, put on some muscle. He talked about it. But I can tell you this, how long has it been since we've had a guard that could create like that? Now, I'm not saying that's a shot we want him to shoot, but you can't tell me in a late game situation this guy's not able to create a shot for himself or others. That looked really, really good. So I like that. Let's go to this next one here. This is Malachi Marino, who, you know what? If you look over here in the background, you see this guy sitting in the chair in the blue. Do you all see him? I don't know if you can see my cursor now, but this guy back here, that is one Justin McBride. He has returned to practice, but he is still sick, still too weak to participate, can't move, couldn't even stand. His dad did come out and say the other day that Big Blue Nation needed to relax. He just had a touch of the flu, and he just wasn't healthy. His dad said he did go to Vegas. He just didn't come out. I reported that he didn't go to Vegas because I didn't see him in any pictures or anything. He was actually in Vegas but didn't leave the room. So, but yeah, and if you can see in the background over there in the blue jacket with the, shorts and black shoes, that is Justin McBride. But this is a one-on-one game, and I honestly think Reese Potter here is probably guarding Marino about as good as you can. Maybe a foul or so there, but I like, I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like, I like that physicality between Marino and Reese Potter going at it. I'd like to see him manhandling Frank Kepnong like that. That'd make me feel a lot better about Marino and his one-on-one ability to finish around the basket. But so I'm a big fan of Marino finishing that with, I would say Reese has probably fouled him a little bit, but here's a clip of Mason Williams. Somebody tell Uzman that we don't go under screens here. Somebody tell Njai we don't go under screens. He let Potter just screen him and stop. He'll figure it out. And this is Jerome Morton right here. Drone's been looking really well in the practice highlights I've seen. I don't know if he's lost 40 pounds in 2 months, but he looks thinner. But hopefully he's able to get back. Yeah, that was my biggest beef last year, Holly, with Marino. It seems like his hands, but I think a lot of that was early on in the year. I think as the year got deeper into the season, I think he actually got better. But yeah, I mean, but this right here is Drone Morton. Watch this play here. Makes a really good play. And that's a pretty good pretty good guard creating for a big. This will be another Alex Wilkins here. We see Cody Figure over here on the sideline. We see Zoom Diallo over here. Momcilovic on the sideline over here. Yeah, Potter's. I mean, I hope I eat my words. I said Potter wouldn't play a whole lot, but maybe he will. I don't know how healthy Kepnong's going to be all year long. I hope he doesn't JQ us or somebody on the Twitter machine today said that they have a feeling that Frank Kepnong's going to Joel Embiid us, and it kind of made me laugh. But I hope not. I think Frank's got a really good opportunity to be a fan favorite here. But yeah, I really like Potter's also a senior or a junior. He's played Division I basketball for several years, so I think he understands the game. Shoots the ball about 40% at his size. I hear he's a pretty good passer. He may be a good big in Mark Pope's system. So, and here's Alex Wilkins again. And no knock on Potter, but that's just a mismatch on Wilkins there. And I hope, honestly, that that's what Kentucky's able to do. If they set a screen to get a mismatch, I mean, I don't know too many people it's going to guard, too many bigs it's going to guard him. So, I mean, and that's a guy with Potter's length. So, right, but I'm not going to say he's going to be holding out on purpose. I just don't know if he'll ever be healthy, like a Donnie Freeman situation. He's had some injury issues. All right, and I think this is Zoom here. You'll get to see Zoom. And I'm just going to tell you right now, we're going to like Zoom Diallo, guys. I got a feeling we're really going to like Zoom. I like how he reads the pick and roll. I like how when he gets guys on his back, look at that. He just kind of took Zion Hawthorne down to the he backs him down to the post and just uses his strength and size to shoot over top. Let me show you a part of this from a coaching standpoint that's kind of underrated here. What's up, Angel? How's it going, my man? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. But let me show you right here. Okay, let me rewind it here a little bit. Watch him you see how he stands up right there? He doesn't rush anything. He kind of makes the game go at his pace. He kind of slows things down to where he doesn't force a rush. He kind of creates that little separation right there. And he just kind of stands up and hesitates. And then it's just like a burst. I really like Zoom Diallo. All right, we know Momcilovic can score, but I like to see in other parts of his game besides the three. And this is no, I'm already on. I'm not going to YouTube because I like to stop and pause and do everything, and I'm already here. So should have told me that after the first clip. Name a point guard in the SEC better than Zoom. I really like the Tanner kid from Vanderbilt. I'm not saying he's better, but he's as good as. I I really like the freshman point guard Arkansas has, but because he's a freshman, I think he'll have some growing pains. He's not as good as Acuff. I really, really like I like Boogie Flam, but I don't think he's as good as Zoom. But here's Momcilovic. Kind of takes Jerome down, uses his size. Now, I don't think he's as strong as Jerome is here. Watch Jerome kind of stand up to him here and watch him just use his length and size to kind of shoot over top. What's up, Major Frank? How's it going, my man? Thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate you stopping by. But here's he kind of just uses that length and strength. And I'm going to tell you, once that guy gets the shot off, it's got a chance to go in. All right, just a couple more clips here. This is Usman Njai. He's the guy that everybody that's why I said I don't know about anybody definitely better, but we'll just have to wait and see. I definitely think he's in the upper echelon as the point guards, but at the end of the year, we'll just have to check. But I think Tanner was going to be drafted second round or something, wasn't he? I mean, maybe he wasn't. All right, here we go. I mean, if Usman can do that, guys, that's going to be hard to guard with his length and size. And then the last one here. This is Reese Potter finishing around the rim here. Pretty good left-handed finish here on the pass from the point guard. Zoom getting in the lane, doing what he does. So those are the clips. I mean, honestly, those aren't really long clips, but I like those clips. Somebody, the Toddcast just told me in the TBT that Michael Beasley was playing for Kansas State and he just spazzed out, which that's what Michael Beasley's good at. So it doesn't surprise me one bit. Who do you think starts at the 4 by the end of the season? I think it's going to be hard to keep Usman off the floor if he's adjusting the way he says he is. I like McBride a lot, but I'll be all right if they move Milan to the 4 and they start, if Milan stays at the 4 and they move Cam to the 3. I think I had honestly think that I had Cam starting. I know some people have put Hawthorne but at the beginning of the year, but where he's kind of dipped off, McBride being sick right now. I'd say Momcilovic will be the 4, Cam the 3. Or, I mean, hell, you can put Cam at the 4 if you want. He's 6'8". But it's going to be hard to keep Usman off the floor, I got a feeling. Because if you start Usman, there's probably a good chance that Cam Williams don't start. And I know Cam at the TBT was on crutches and a walking boot. And this is kind of this thought right here is kind of the same thought I had. Oh, Michael Beasley got up in some dude's face and kissed him on TBT. You'll see highlights, I'm sure. Dude's nuts. He might not be right. Man, how you gonna keep? I'm with you, and I like Cam. Momcilovic is gonna start regardless, but I like Cam. But man, if Usman, I mean, at 6'11", can create a mismatch at the somewhere on the floor, being hard to guard with his ability to attack the basket and his outside shooting ability, Cam can shoot it. I don't know. I just feel like we got a very good problem. What's up, my man? How's it going, Walt? How's it going, brother? Yeah, and he missed. I mean, I talked to Big Mike about it. And of course, Big Mike's got a relationship with Cam's dad from where he's on his show, or I think Big Mike was standing there. I don't know if I was actually talking to him. Everybody's saying all signs point to him being healthy for the season, but here it is July. They actually probably won't start practicing full fledged until getting back to school after their break. But yeah, I agree. And it's going to take him some time to get back into game shape. So what they may do to start the year is bring him off the bench till he gets healthy. And that kind of been maybe what Clay was alluding to when he says that he thinks Cam and Momcilovic starting the postseason. But I think as of right now, you got to have Usman on the floor from everything I'm reading and hearing from people about the way he's played, the way he shot, a pull up midi right there. Kind of reminded me of Dawson Nichols when he would do that pull up mid range jumper for the Pendleton County Wildcats. Love the mid range. Yeah, and I've seen it from a lot of, not just, I've seen it from a lot. Even the other players on the team have talked about it. Cam definitely defensively, and I think Mason I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know how much Mason Williams would play at the beginning, but after the highlights and seeing the way he's built, I mean, you're talking about somebody that's built like a dog. I mean, kind of got that. Hold on. I didn't like that coming on. I don't know if y'all could hear that or not, but I had to say it just for you, Clay, just for you. I know how much you enjoyed it. But it was the one thing that, and I've said that I may have to eat some words on, and I've said it since we started. I hope that Pope cuts down his rotation before the postseason to 8, 9. I don't know many people that are playing 10, 11 guys winning national championships, but with our roster, I don't 100% see us being able to play just 8 or 9. I liked our depth. Not only do I like our depth, I like the quality of our depth. We're not just, Cam could start for somebody else. I think McBride could definitely start at other teams. But I wouldn't be a bit shocked, honestly, if Cam and Momcilovic started and they brought Usman off the bench. But I think early on it's going to be hard to keep him out of the lineup. Yeah, I mean, and I think Cam can remind me of like a Darius Miller. He can be that 3-and-D guy. He really can, and I think we definitely need him on the defensive end more so than the offensive end. But I would like to have definitely seen him in action this summer, just to work on his game. And he started attacking the basket a lot late in the season last year. Cam did. So I think he's added some to his game. He's not just a standstill 3-point shooter. But yeah, I do, Clay. I do. I think, honestly, I think if Jerome keeps playing like he does, I think he can split off in the 1 or 2, like for example, him and Mason Williams both, I think can. I know Mason prefers the 1, but let's say Zoom needs a break and they don't want to move Wilkins. Wilkins having a go at the 2 and doing really well off the ball. Jerome can come in and play the 1, or if he wants to move Wilkins to the point, Jerome can play the 2. I think Jerome's flexibility of playing the 1 and the 2 will really help him get some minutes. And from everything I've read, he's played really well. I mean, which we know that Jerome's a good, solid player, smart player. He's not somebody that has to take 15 shots a game. He's not somebody that is selfish with the ball. The ball doesn't stop in his hands. So I definitely think he's a guy that can play. And I hope he does. I was a little skeptical about when he first committed to Kentucky on whether or not he would play, considering the makeup of the roster. But all signs are pointing to him having a really good summer, and, good for him. Good for him. Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard too. But he came back in March to help the team out. Otherwise, I think they probably would have sat him out, and he probably would have been ready. But I've seen too much, they kept saying JQ a lot was erring on the side of caution, and I don't want to go down that road again. Yeah, we definitely have depth. Mason Williams will probably going to be the backup point guard from what I hear. If Mason Williams is in the game and Zoom and Wilkins both need a break, then I'd say Jerome gets in. And I think early on in their out of non-conference schedule, you're going to see maybe 12, 13 guys play. Because Trent Noah, they're going to try to give him some run early. He's probably 10, 11 on the depth chart. When McBride gets healthy, he's going to play. They definitely had depth at every position. I definitely like the wings. I think Braden Hawthorne's going to figure it out. He may be struggling right now, but I think he's going to figure it out. I think he's got all parts of the game in his arsenal. I mean, he's long, tall, get his shot off, shoots the ball from the perimeter really well. I think he probably needs to work on his defensive game. He's probably going to be guarding a three. He's 6'8" or 6'9", I believe. UK's definitely got the length and size. A lot of Morton shots are off the dribble. Only thing concerns me. I would say I agree with you, but he shot 44% from three off the dribble at Washington State. Don't know how that's going to translate to the SEC, where there may be quicker defenders. I'm not sure, but I think Morton I think he prefers to shoot off the dribble, and he shot 44% from the three off the dribble. So, with that being said, it's kind of the shot I think he looks for. But I agree, he does shoot a lot off the dribble. But when you shoot 44% from three off the dribble, I would do it more often too. I know sometimes it doesn't look like a good shot off the move, but if that's what you're comfortable doing and that's what you've worked on and that's what you can make, and one of the major lessons from the NBA coaches clinic that I went to, or the Coaching U coaches clinic, one of the NBA guys, I can't remember which one it was. I was trying to think who it was, but basically said, figure out what you can do and be good at what you can do. Be great at what you do. And if he's great at shooting off the dribble, then do it. I mean, but when it comes down to it, I don't know how many minutes he's going to get that are relevant in big-time games. I guess that'll all be dictated by the whistle, foul trouble. Knock on wood that we've had our share of injuries the last few years. We're not going to have any this year. We've already done our time in the injury game. Time for us to get on past that. That's kind of what we've all heard and read and seen, and I think it's starting to check out, honestly. I wasn't going to believe any of it until I saw him, and I saw he's worked on his body. He's obviously been in the weight room. I went to a Coaching U clinic out in Vegas, Frank. It was all NBA coaches that were presenting, and the best coach there was Phil Beckner by far, and all he does is NBA talent development. But seeing some of his one-on-one drills and things like that, and some of the things he taught, it was just neat to watch, to see how those guys interact with other guys, and just their teaching ability and their knowledge. It was just second to none. I haven't, because I don't think it's going to happen. Definitely now that, I guess if they're going to fill that 15th roster spot, it may be Hampton reclassing, but I don't think Hampton wants to reclass, or he would have announced it earlier. He came out and said that he was staying in the 27 class. But the thing I would say is, if he reclasses, he's learning the system. He's practicing against those guys. He's getting to play. He's getting to practice for the coaches that are going to be coaching him next year. So I guess that's the positive of it. But I don't think that Hampton wants to reclass. I think he's already said that. I just think so much scuttlebutts out there with reclassing, because all those guys are seeming to do it now. Spears, there's been a they were talking about with Reese, Skip to my Lou, his son Reese, can't even think of his name. Anyways, the point guard, Reese Austin. There was some scuttlebutt of him too, and thank you. I had a brain fart, couldn't think of it. and it's no joke, guys. Ever since I had my stroke in October, I lose my memory a lot. I don't remember half the stuff that I used to remember. And sometimes my mind goes blank and I have to sit there and think a minute before I can remember. Amen to that. I don't even want to speak that into existence. We're going to get that off the screen. Yeah, definitely have a year with a weight room. And yeah, I mean, and I see all the perks to it, but if he doesn't want to reclassify, there's no sense in even pursuing it. Let him get comfortable, may be confidence booster to play high school, at where he's at right now, and maybe have some games that can boost his confidence. But I'm not going to put a lot of stock into him reclassifying right now. I would be shocked actually if it happened, to be honest, but I'm not going to say it's out the window. All right. I don't know how many of you are on social media, but I saw something today that was just the absolute funniest thing and kind of proves that Louisville people.
Favorite Louisville player of all time, Isaiah.
I want you all to watch this video here. This is Mario Matland of KSR putting on this video, okay? And I want you to, he goes around. This is at the TBT, and this is in Louisville, mind you. This is in Louisville. Listen to this question. Listen to how many people answer. Here we go.
Favorite Louisville player of all time, Isaiah Briscoe or Johnny David?
Briscoe. Yeah.
Briscoe, yeah.
What do you like about Briscoe?
I don't know. He was just fun to watch.
It was the style. Yeah, it was a style.
Yeah, he was solid. He was solid. I'll agree. Favorite Louisville player of all time, Isaiah Briscoe or Johnny David?
Johnny David.
Johnny David. What do you like about Johnny David?
I just like the way he plays.
Yeah, he's pretty solid, isn't he?
Oh, he's really solid.
He didn't get to play much, but like he's still a good guy, like a good teammate.
Yeah, of course, 100%.
Yeah. Thank you. I've been asking a lot of Louisville fans, man. Favorite Louisville player of all time?
Luke Hancock.
Without
a question, Luke Hancock.
How about Johnny David? He was pretty solid.
He was, yes. Yeah.
How about Isaiah Briscoe?
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Red hair and glasses kind of gets.
Anybody else that comes to mind?
I don't think Isaiah Briscoe played at Louisville.
Edgar Sosa, my OG.
I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him. Why is he your OG?
I grew up watching him.
No. Can't stand him. Favorite Louisville player of all time, Johnny David or Isaiah Briscoe?
Isaiah Briscoe?
Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll do that. It's a serious question. I don't want anybody else to hear.
Hold
man.
up.
Favorite Louisville player of all time.
She was wearing a Rusticulous shirt.
Isaiah Briscoe or Johnny David? Isaiah Briscoe, Johnny David. Who's your favorite Louisville player of all time? They both solid.
Nah, gang, you're not fooling me, bro. I love my city too much, buddy.
Favorite Louisville player of all time, Johnny David or Isaiah Briscoe?
Isaiah Briscoe, Johnny. I don't remember Johnny Davis. I know Isaiah. No, Isaiah Briscoe ain't no daggone Louisville fan.
What about Johnny David?
I don't know. I don't even know who he is.
You don't even know who
Freedom
Johnny
Hall had
David
like
is.
such good ice cream here, man. That looks good. I'm definitely gonna get me a cone after this.
Have to.
All right, question of yeah, for sure. Question of the day. We got to get serious now, man. Favorite Louisville player of all time?
Peyton Siva, actually.
Peyton Siva.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I give you two options that I think you might like?
Of course.
How about Johnny David or Isaiah Briscoe? Which one you going with?
Isaiah Briscoe.
Isaiah Briscoe. He's pretty solid.
Yeah, he is.
Favorite Louisville player of all time? Wait, I'm gonna give you two options. Okay. Isaiah Briscoe or Johnny David?
Neither of them. Luke Hancock.
I like it. Give me some. Give me some. You know your stuff.
you,
I respect it.
Got you.
I respect it. Question of the day. Favorite Louisville player of all time? Isaiah Briscoe or Johnny David?
I don't think either of them play for Louisville.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Favorite Louisville player of all time? Isaiah Briscoe or Johnny David?
Well, definitely not the first one.
Not Briscoe. What about Johnny David?
I would say neither a Louisville player, so I don't know why you're asking that.
Greatest Louisville player of all time? Isaiah Briscoe or Johnny David?
Come on now.
We ain't done.
Guys, that is awesome. And what I thought was funny is that guy there at the end, he's like, we're not dumb. Well, half your fan base was. Shout out to Mario Maitland for that. That was great. That was great. That one guy said Johnny David, pretty solid player. Didn't even know who he was. That's great. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter today, and I thought, there's going to be a lot of people on the show that probably hasn't seen that needs to see that. That was awesome. Crash made a good point here about the Ryan Hampton reclassing. Says he also wouldn't get to actually play as much ball if he was essentially a redshirt at UK. There's no right answer, and I can see that. A lot of times players aren't going to develop. Players aren't going to develop. Just they need floor time. They need game time. And one thing that I do on Peanut, I'm not doing this tonight. Don't make me time you out. Don't do it. But the one thing I do on my basketball team is every year at the end of the year, we do exit interviews where the coaching staff spends time with each player individually, asks them some questions, gets feedback from them, what worked, what didn't work, what do you feel like you need to work on for next year, where can you develop, what's your strengths, weaknesses, just things like that. And I've learned a lot over the years about that because I've had a lot of people, they'll honestly say, well, I wish I would have got more playing time. Well, what could you have done to get more playing time? Well, you told me I needed to do this in practice, and I did it, but I never got time on the floor during games to show you that I could. I think Hampton will need that floor time, and at Kentucky, if he reclasses, there'd be a handful of games probably that he would get in, not very many. I don't think Ryan Hampton at right now where he's at is any better than Trent Noah. I could be wrong. But I think Hampton's got a lot of growing to do physically, maturely, mentally. So, but yeah, that Louisville video was first class. I really enjoyed that. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the TBT a little bit. Let's talk about the TBT a little bit. I wasn't a bit shocked that Louisville won at Freedom Hall. I was kind of shocked at the just how the game went. It just looked like, of course, I know with Willie Cauley-Stein hurt, and it's kind of like Louisville definitely had, and I knew that Montrezl Harrell would probably dominate the interior when Willie Cauley-Stein wasn't playing. We literally had nobody else to guard him. He struggled a little bit at Memorial, only 2 points in the first half, then he really turned it on. But do you all know that Montrezl Harrell, he played a game in the 3-on-3, the 3-on-3 with Ice Cube, the big three. He played that on Sunday. Then he went to Louisville to play in Freedom Hall, game 2. And it seems like, he was like 15 or 16. It seems like he just picked up right where he left off. And, and then it's just like Louisville had more energy from the jump. You could just tell. I like the fact that Kentucky, when they took Willie Cauley-Stein out in the third, they didn't put him back in, let him go ahead and rest. I will say this, and I don't even know why it was presented to us that Marcus Lee was going to play, because he's not. I think he's on a wedding trip or maybe an anniversary trip with his wife. It's his wedding anniversary or something, and I don't blame him. But for whoever presented that he was going to play, somebody needs answers regarding that, because it makes it look like that he left the team high and dry. And if those of you that are on Twitter, Aaron Harrison pretty well called him out. Aaron Harrison says, I don't know how you all can say you're going to play and commit and just not show up for the guys, basically leaving them high and dry. He called out Archie Goodwin. Archie went back at Aaron. Aaron went back at Archie. Archie says, how can you say that when you don't even know what's going on in my life? You don't know what I've been doing, why I wasn't there. So how can you say that it was kind of a BS move for me not to show up because you don't know what's going on in my life. Archie was a little upset that Aaron did. Aaron did not tag Archie on social media. Aaron put a blanket statement out there. Archie was kind of upset that Aaron did not reach out to him through text and did it on social media. So they kind of had a little back and forth. It was kind of like a cat versus cat crime going on there, going at each other. But I agree. Louisville was definitely the better team last night, and I agree with this. The TBT definitely wants this series to go 3 games because both places have been sellouts, and there's no reason for me to think that Game 3 there is no reason for me not to think that Game 3 in Lexington won't be a sellout as well. Hell, I can tell you, I was supposed to be on the Mega podcast tomorrow, but he canceled it, and he's moving it to another day because he's got tickets to Game 3, which he said that would happen. If Kentucky doesn't get some reinforcements in here soon, I don't see Louisville losing Game 3, which if you remember before the series started, I predicted that Louisville would win the series because I didn't think Kentucky's I was actually shocked Kentucky won Game 1. If there probably would have been 5 more minutes, maybe 5 more points, Louisville may have come back and won that game. Kentucky hung on by the skin of their teeth. But there's something I learned about Archie just trying to get some. Yeah, Archie played some streamer one-on-one game for $10,000 and lost, and he was trying to get a rematch or something. I don't know. I know he played the one-on-one game and lost to a streamer. I don't know if that's why he missed the TBT. Not sure. Maybe because he lost $10,000 in that scrimmage. He didn't have the money to fly to Lexington because I'm sure that's on them. I'm sure they got to pay for their own travel. But I did not know this, and I learned it last night. Did you know that because John Hood said it in his post-game interview, and I didn't watch it live. I actually watched it on YouTube at a later time. But John Hood says that every team that kind of plays in the TBT has a reserve roster, and you get to put up to 6 names on that reserve roster that you can pull from if people didn't show up or people get hurt. I don't know I saw where Walk said this, and I don't know who started the rumor. I did hear that Nate Sestina and Andrew Carr were names being floated around, but I honestly don't know if those 2 names are on their reserve roster. I don't think you can just add whoever you want all willy-nilly. I don't know if anybody has seen their reserve roster. I was under the impression that Nate Sestina couldn't play at all this TBT. So that would knock him out. Andrew Carr played in the NBA Summer League, so he should be available. But I don't know who Kentucky's put on their 6-man reserve roster. I did, however, see where Aaron Harrison said, if you guys weren't going to show up, you should have told us so we could have put different people on our roster, which I think next year things will all change about who they add and what they do. Is he playing tomorrow? I don't know who you're talking about. If you're talking about Willie Cauley-Stein, yeah, I think he's going to try. I don't know who their backups are. I don't know if Marcus Lee will be there. I don't know if Marcus Lee was one of those guys that was on their reserve roster and they thought that he would just be there. I don't know I think Marcus Lee and Archie was on the regular roster. So I wouldn't know who the 6 guys are that are on the reserve roster. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. I thought we would kind of find out today, but I haven't seen anything. I also know, for people talking about the roster, I also know that Louisville has Ray Spalding, and I think Peyton Siva or Edgar Sosa, one of them on their roster, and those 2 guys hadn't played. Some Nunez hasn't played. If Jordan Awara plays tomorrow for Louisville, that may be all that kind of screws us. We're screwed. I kind of felt like we were before it even happened. I just felt like Louisville was better. But Aaron Harrison the Harrisons have only lost 1 game to Louisville. But I kind of saw that stuff happen last night with Andrew Harrison that annoys me when things aren't going well. He seems to get a little chippy. And I'm just not a big fan of that style of play. And when things aren't going well is when you decide to get all chippy. But in the KSR interview, Pope mentioned there was a possibility for summer competition. I would say that's probably out the window now. I haven't heard nothing about it since then. I mean, I would have thought he might have came on Twitter and said that some waivers weren't granted or whatever. But I haven't heard anything about that. I never really gave it much stock when he said it. I kind of hoped he would because I wanted to see this team in action, or at least maybe do a blue-white scrimmage that could be televised on SEC Network, or even if televised through KSR on YouTube or whatever channel they want on YouTube, Kentucky Athletics or whatever. So it'll be the Reds baseball or college. Yeah, probably. But I probably won't do any baseball shows, but I'll get on here and talk nonsense. But right. Yeah, McBride's sick. We got some people rehabbing injuries, but I still think it would have helped the likes of some of the newer guys, and plus Braden Hawthorne, who has struggled, may help him get out there. But who knows? I don't know. We got to load up our team better. One thing you don't understand, Walk, I guess, is that not everybody agrees to play. A lot of guys don't want to take the chance on getting hurt. A lot of these guys play overseas, and one injury could affect their next contract. Some guys just don't care. I really do think Twanny did a really good job of the people he added on our roster that were non-Kentucky. You're allowed to add 4. I think McNeil had a really good game 1. I don't think he got off to a great start in game 2. I think that Devin Morsel or whatever from Villanova may be their best player. And I think Maynard Bell's been okay. Right. I get it. But, yeah, I definitely don't see anywhere any scrimmages are going to happen. If they do happen, we're probably not going to hear about them or whatever. But, I mean, so I've not seen anything regarding who's on this reserve roster. We could speculate for days. I mean, I've heard people say they'd like to have Isaiah Briscoe. I don't think he fixes our problems. Archie was one I thought we needed because Archie can go get a bucket when he needs it. We also didn't get much. There was some Chris Coffey played better in game 2 than he did game 1 as far as offensively. Had a really good finish off the miss with the dunk, but I really like our 4 that Twanny added that aren't from Kentucky. It just seemed like our guys that attended Kentucky, and it hurt kind of that Aaron Harrison wasn't able to play due to rehabbing an injury and also having a baby, or his wife or girlfriend having a baby. I don't know why somebody like maybe Boogie Cousins doesn't play or, but there's a lot of reasons why these guys probably don't play is they probably don't want to risk injury. A lot of them probably think they're too old. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better because that guy's good. Jackson Robinson needs to ask the Cavs, let him. That's not happening. Yeah, they do, but they don't. They're not going to televise it. But I don't know if they run 5-on-5 with no breaks. I think they do more of a controlled scrimmage to where they're doing live action with breaks stopping to teach or instruct. Nobody wants to watch that. Yeah, Wall's days are over playing, I believe. Too many injuries in the NBA. He's not going to play. Deron Lamb tried to play last year, and his shot didn't look the same. He's a coach this year. Yeah, I forgot. Briscoe plays for Louisville. Anthony, did you see that video clip I showed where KSR went around the Louisville game and asked Louisville fans who their favorite player was, Isaiah Briscoe or Johnny David, which obviously neither one of them played for Louisville. They both played for Kentucky. And the majority of the people he asked commented either Briscoe or Johnny David was their favorite player of all time. So typical Louisville fans not even knowing their own players. I know you're not a typical Louisville fan, Anthony. You're way more knowledgeable than those guys are. I know that. Yeah, I'd watch it too, Peanut, just because I watch Kentucky basketball, but I'd also love to see the teaching points that the coaching staff points out that could probably help me be a better coach. I'd love to see how they point things out, teach things. You know, I run a variation of the Zoom offense. Obviously, yeah, I've already taken it off, or I'd show it to you. It's if you go to Twitter, I'm putting his name in the chat. He works for KSR. His name's Mario Matlin. If you find his Twitter, or maybe on KSR's Twitter, you'll see where he was at the TBT game going around asking Louisville fans. Then it got to be where halfway through, Louisville fans were like, you can't fool me, bro. We're not that dumb. We know they didn't play for Louisville. Yeah, I knew Wall had another job, but, you know, and I heard, you know, a lot of people that the UK was talking about, they couldn't get no travel. They couldn't get travel plans, couldn't find a flight. That's what I originally heard for Marcus Lee, that he couldn't find a flight. But then I heard that there was more to it than that. Like it was his wedding anniversary or whatever. Yeah, Anthony, I know people in my everyday circle that I could ask them if their favorite player for Kentucky was Shane Bohannon, and they would say, yeah, he's close. He's probably up there near the top. Yeah. So, but it was just a funny clip. But yeah, I'd say every fan base has those guys. They don't like Trez because Trez tears them up. Trez is a bull in a china shop. He dominated TBT last night. That has been speculated, but of course, everybody thought Jamal Crawford was a lock to come here after the Peach Jam. You heard it all the time. You know, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. We're going to get him. But with that being said, he does have 2 more years of contract to the NBA. When you heard Jamal Crawford talk, he acted as if coaching at the collegiate level was a possibility, and I think it's the hope and Mark Pope, or I think Mark Pope hopes that he can land Jamal Crawford just in time to land JJ, and I honestly don't think that he would take Jamal Crawford just to get JJ, although it'll help. I think he truly thinks Jamal Crawford could be an asset to the staff, as do we and most people we see. You know, his name recognition on the AAU circuit, his name recognition, his NBA connections, his able to develop. Don't test me, Anthony. Don't test me. I've already had to warn Peanut twice. These strikes run out eventually. But what's up, Cats? How you doing, brother? We was just talking about the you know, we weren't aware that, or I wasn't aware. I can't speak for everybody. But I wasn't aware of the TBT that every team that kind of entered the TBT put a roster together of 6 people, and they call it the reserve roster. And it's for teams that have people get hurt or can't make it. They can pull off this reserve roster. I've seen that too. But if it's a personal Mount Rushmore, a lot of times they do that by who they liked. He wouldn't be on my Mount Rushmore of who I liked or personal or competitive. Don't speak his name, Anthony. He'll pop up. That's why my numbers are down. All 4 of his accounts ain't logged into my show. I'd say he probably does edits. Cats by 90 probably does edits for people. There's a good market for that on social media if you can get you a pretty good little circle going. A lot of people don't know how to edit videos, clips, pictures. Some people ain't figured out how to use Chat GPT to do that yet. But for those people that are new, just to kind of remind you, the mega podcast will not happen tomorrow night because Austin will be going to Game 3 of the TBT. He actually went to Game 2 in Louisville. He's going to Game 3. So I think he's back on Wednesday up to Thursday. Yeah, we don't want to speak it into existence. He might be on a Calipari podcast too. I know there's some Arkansas fans out there that do podcasts. He might be might be one of those. Man, it just seems like time flies once I get on here. It's like, I started at 9:30 and it's already like an hour and 40 minutes deep. I don't think that I'll go for 3 hours tonight, but my mom flies in tomorrow from Idaho. I'm happy to see her. If there's anybody in here, and I don't know if there is, but if there's anybody in here that is new, please like and subscribe. Like the podcast, whether you're new or not. Subscribe to the podcast if you are new. If we have any new viewers here. We've not really been picking up any new viewers lately, just from the simple fact that I feel like there's not really much going on right now. It'll probably, I'd say it'll probably pick back up once football season starts around and once it gets back into summertime, people aren't sitting at home and watching YouTube or whatever. Oh, you're all my greatest to talk to, but I've been stuck on 819, 818 for a while. I'd like to get close to 1,000. I can give you all a lot more emojis once I get 1,000 subscribers. There's a lot more stuff you can do with 1,000 than 500, and it seems like it's taking a lot longer to get to 1,000 than it did 500. But and that's okay. I'm not complaining because I appreciate the chat. And when there's ever, sorry. That is funny. Tell him, Anthony. Tell him. If the Louisville fan can hit the like button, hey, we've got 50 people in here, and we've had 50 most of the night, and we've only got 13 likes. I got you, Crash. Yeah, we only got 14 likes now. I haven't seen Mark. He's not. I mean, I know I've seen him on Twitter a little bit, but I think a lot of it is just that there's not really much going on right now. I mean, I know a lot of Kentucky fans that I talk to on an everyday basis that could care less about the TBT. I'm not one of them. If it's Kentucky playing, I'm watching. I don't care what it is, but a lot of them don't care about the TBT. I know a lot of Kentucky basketball fans that don't really watch Kentucky football. I'm more of a Kentucky fan in general. So when I put out a football graphic, I know that the crowd's not going to be the same as it was once the basketball graphics start. But, once the games start and you get on here, you can talk about the games and talk about performances and plays and have pregame, postgame shows or whatever. Yeah, I hit it as soon as I go in of every show I watch, regardless of if the show's good or bad. I have my good days. I have my bad days, but I always hit the like. Yeah, and honestly, a lot of people don't follow the summer of Kentucky. They honestly wait till the first game starts in November, or they start in October or whatever, and then they'll actually start watching some. So we're some of the crazy ones that watch the stuff all year long. Is Burns pitching tonight? I think Burns is pitching, isn't he? If the Reds are up 3-0, I'd say Burns is probably pitching. He's the only one who don't give up many runs, but he better go 9 if they want to win. That bullpen will give up 4. So what's he getting ready to be? 11-1, 12-1? I like the fact that they didn't pitch. I like the fact they chose not to pitch in the All-Star game. That's what they are. Hey, we're built different, Holly. We're built different. These kids nowadays, they ain't built different. They ain't built different. I'm trying to figure out a way that YouTube's got a new way now that, like, for example, when I go on the Mega Podcast, he's going to stream it from his channel, but I can also stream it from mine. I've not figured out how to do that. Oh, yeah, definitely. I agree 100%. And there is a night on here we could do a watch along. We could pull up a 96, 98 championship game. We could pull up the comeback game against LSU, watch it, and kind of give our comments as we watch it. We can do all that, but yeah, I mean, you know what? And their starting pitching shouldn't be as bad as it is, but but yeah, we can do some different kind of stuff in these next few weeks. I'll still probably try to come on Sunday. Once I come on Sunday, we'll talk about the end of TBT. Hopefully Kentucky was able to eke out another victory. Maybe they can prove me wrong again. I don't know. But Thursday, there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about. So we might just talk about whatever it is we want. But I will show you here. Then I'll probably get off here in about 15 minutes or so. But a lot of people have been watching. 300 or so views have been coming, after the fact. But views are way down from normal. But like I think Crash told me one time, there's just nothing going on. You're just gonna have to deal with it. But I last week when we were on here, you're not staying hot then. Daniel Hager. Okay, I'll look him up. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to see the rest of that. I get it. Hey, I watched the TBT game last night until Louisville got up double digits at halftime. Then I turned it off. I get it. I totally get it. Oh, I can do another Jeopardy game or something one day. Absolutely. And actually, I enjoyed making that Jeopardy game. So, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, I know you can't really react to comments on here. I can't even react to them. But I don't see the same thing you all see either. Yeah, we talked about that. A half a dozen. Most of them in the 27 and 28 classes. They showed some interest in the 29. A couple people made some good points on that, Cats. If Zoom and I don't know if Wilkins will come back or not. I guess it depends on what kind of year he has. But if Zoom comes back and then Mason Williams comes back, I mean, how desperate are we for a point guard? We don't really need to be because we've got two. But we're not going to turn down a Beckham Black or a Reese Alston or any of those guys. You know what I'm saying? But last week when we were talking on Twitter, y'all gave me some. I think Icon gave me a design possibility, and then so did Peanut. And I actually made a shirt with the Mark Pope picture that Peanut wanted. Obviously, this shirt's 33% off now. I guess all new designs offer you 2 days of 33% off. I'm just now figuring that out. I guess you can spend to win and get more money off. But I thought I was being really cool in this design. I kind of put my own graphic on it. I thought I was being really cool and putting the cloud in the shape of the state of Kentucky back here. And Peanut told me he already recognized it. I thought I was putting some kind of secret in there. But and I kind of went with the Power K with no emblem or Nike sign or anything like that because that's all copyrighted. And then I think it was Icon that wanted the hold on, I don't know if I can go back or not. Let me go up here. Then Icon wanted the oh crap, where am I at? Where is it? Hold on. Oh, it's on a whole nother link. Okay. Well, I thought I was sharing. What am I doing wrong? I'm still trying to figure out this computer. All right, then he wanted the blue Stay Hot outline with the kind of the ghost wildcat in the back. So I did that one as well for Icon. So anything you like to see or whatever, I can kind of design and make or whatever. But that one's also 33% off. So Then I did one just with the blue outline of the Stay Hot. Sometimes people don't like just the I use ChatGPT a lot, but I'm very detailed on what it is that I use, and I've researched enough to know like I can't include Nike or whatever, things like that. But AI sometimes doesn't work for me the way I want. Sometimes I'll use Gipper and design it myself. I look like that's my natural look, Wildcat. It's my natural look. But yeah, and I will be honest with you. You can, there's like 40 different colors you can choose from. But my black Stay Hot shirt, this, let me get it here. I'll try to, but this one here, I kind of got the lightweight design, and those feel great. You can also get the cotton. You can pick the design you want, basically. You can also pick pants, shorts, household goods, hoodies, T-shirts. I might get me a tank top so everybody can see these guns. But, just by sharing on Twitter and Facebook, I've had 9 or 10 people. I've had like 10 or 11 sales maybe. So that's always good since I've only had it maybe a month, if that. But yeah, and if you go on TeePublic, hell, I don't know if anything's off limits on there. I see a lot of graphics and stuff that people put on a T-shirt and sell. And honestly, I know a lot of people that use the TeePublic to sell those shirts, and I'm worried about being copyright. You know, I'm trying to do it the right way. And hell, if you go in there and look at all the different designs and shirts they make, they're not worried about it. I still think we will get Crash on. We will. One of these days here in the next couple of weeks, I'll get him on because he might spark some new things to talk about. But I don't know if you were on here last week, Walk, but you might appreciate this. I made my own trading card series, kind of obviously kind of based it around like the old Garbage Pail Kids, you know, because it's summer, nobody cares. Based it around the old Garbage Pail Kids because I used to collect every type of card I could get my hands on when I was younger. You know, I even talked about, and you can probably relate to this because we're probably similar in age. You may be younger than me, but remember the old sticker books for baseball? You know, you'd buy it, and they would have a page would be a different team, and you could buy stickers like they were cards. You'd open the pack of stickers, and you would kind of fill out the pages or whatever. Well, I made my own version of like the Garbage Pail Kids, and I called them Stay Hot Ops. And you can't really see him, but that's Pukin' Pat Kelsey. Kind of seeing Pukin' there. Wrong Way Right. That's when Rob Wright chose BYU over us and kind of did us dirty. Dusty May leaving Michigan to go to Dallas Mavericks. And Dusty No Trusty. This is the Stokes hoax when Tyron Stokes kind of led us on a wild goose chase. Well, actually, I shouldn't be mad at Stokes. I'd be mad at Mark Pope for allowing it to happen. Everybody seemed to know that that Stokes wouldn't come to Kentucky, but Mark Pope. But there's the Stokes. Then my last one, I'm doing 10. This is number 5. I did Con John with Calipari ripping up the lifetime contract. And on his briefcase there, it says promises and excuses. Those were the only things. So I started making my own cards. I'm going to do a series of 10. I've had 2 people reach out to me and want to buy all 5 of those, and they bought all 5 for $20. So I figured I'd sell them to them if they wanted them. Right. And the cards are now starting to make a comeback. I went to a flea market not too long ago, and there were several people set up selling cards, and I hadn't seen that in a long time. It used to be baseball cards, basketball cards, football cards. You could get them almost anywhere. Any kind of what am I thinking of? Any kind of flea market, festival, things like that. there were multiple people. Captain will be on here. We'll get him on here. He already told me he'd come on. He ain't gonna lie to me. I wish we could get Carl Miller back in here because the guy he wanted to subscribe to, or he wanted to challenge in Redneck Brawl. That guy's fighting somebody else now. So I don't even know if Carl got accepted or if he's able to be in this one. I'm not sure. I got Bray and Amari rookie autos for under $9. Yeah, that's not bad at all. But the hardest lesson for me to learn growing up with baseball cards was my dad used to tell me I'd say, well, how much is this worth? He'd always say, well, it's only worth what somebody will give you for it. Well, I didn't understand what that meant. I'm like, no, this Beckett book right here, Beckett says it's worth $12. He's like, yeah, but if you can't sell it for 12, it ain't worth 12. That's cool. Yeah, I love I don't know. I know where Simpsonville is, but I don't live close to it, so I've never been there. I've got a bunch of 90 steroids era sets, not worth crap, taking up room in my closet, biggest waste. Yeah, I used to do the complete sets of tops every year too, but they've kind of lost their value. And there's only several players out of every set that really have value. If you could get the 90s Griffey Jr., 1990 Griffey Jr., I'd say Dan Issel basketball with Goose is probably worth a little bit. Same with Cal. And definitely the program signed by Adolph Rupp probably has some value. It's just that a lot of times, like with the Bray and Amari, a lot of their value will depend on what kind of NBA careers they have. And are you willing to hold on to them and take care of them? Or, when I was a kid, hell, we used to put baseball cards in our spokes of our bikes and way overproduced, Anthony, way overproduced. But it was kind of like, hell, we'd put baseball cards in our spokes, on our bike, and it'd go, brrr, or we would play games with our baseball cards. If you look on the back, a lot of times they have games on them. So, baseball, basketball, and football cards, we used to collect a lot. Me and my brother ran a card scam one year at a yard sale we had. My sister's having a yard sale, and it was attracting a lot of attention. So we started selling our baseball cards at my sister's yard sale. Well, while my brother was sitting out selling the cards, I was taking a card inside, and I was taking a Sharpie, and I was putting autographs on them. I was autographing the card myself, and then we were coming out trying to trade it or sell it as an autograph card. And I had one of the first ever Florida Marlin or Miami Marlin, Florida Marlin hat when their first ever draft pick was Brian Taylor. Do y'all remember that? Brian Taylor was their first ever draft pick. Well, I autographed that hat, Brian Taylor, and hell, we'd sell it to other kids. And we were running some kind of card scam back in early 90s. 4 Mark Popes. All you had to do is go after a game. He'd sign them. Have a ball signed by Tubby and the whole championship team of 98. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Pope and Kenny Brooks usually sign at Kroger in the fall. Nice. Got a bunch of Pete Rose autographs. Yeah, I'd say those are still worth something. I met the whole team before the season started. I was still a kid. No autographs, though. It definitely, yeah, I love collecting cards. I'm not going to lie. I love collecting cards. Back in the day, it was something, just the thrill of buying a pack of cards and not knowing who you're going to get and opening that pack of cards and thumbing through really quick. And I remember the time I got a Eric Davis card. Of course, Eric Davis was my favorite red growing up. So that was always nice. Oh, now that would be nice. Honestly, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's probably got a little bit of value. And back-to-back MVPs. And look at Jake coming in hot. Jake coming in hot. They're going for $5 on eBay. Yeah, but if you're going to get, a lot of those you get because you're a Kentucky fan. You're not getting them because they're worth money or. That's what I just talked about. I'd tell my dad that the Beckett had this card worth $12, and my dad tried to teach me that if somebody wouldn't give you $12 for it, it wasn't worth $12. And I'd argue and say, yeah, it is. This book says it's worth 12. But I was young and didn't understand that if somebody's only going to give you $4 for it, then it's only worth $4. I don't have any cards now, Anthony. I've moved and got rid of them. But yeah, you're all more. I'd love for y'all to come on and show your cards. Yeah, I'd absolutely love it. That wouldn't bother me one bit. I don't have any cards anymore. We kind of sold all of ours. You know what? I'm not going to lie, but there are YouTube channels with millions of views and subs of people just opening packs of cards or, Junk Wax Pro. I don't know if y'all ever watched the Junk Wax Pro opening up their cards or young kids opening up toys or whatever. And I mean, they've got like 1 million views and I'm like, who's watching that? Who wants to get on there and watch? But if I click on it, next thing you know, I'll be 30, 40 minutes deep watching them open stuff because I'm trying to watch what they got too. But, Boomer. Boomer tried to pass the gravy one time at Thanksgiving, but it got intercepted. That was a Dave Letterman joke about Boomer when he played for the Jets. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, you Cubs, Bengals, and ex-UK players. Do they still have do they have a lot of college basketball cards nowadays? I know they used to have very few, or do you got to wait till they're NBA in order to get their card? I didn't know if Topps or Upper Deck or Bowman or Panini or. Oh, wow. Nice. Nice. You picked a good time to do it. Hey, love David Letterman, baby. I love his top 10 list. That was on things overheard at Thanksgiving table. And I think number 1 was the Boomer Esiason tried to pass the gravy, but it got intercepted. Is that through Panini Peanut Butter? Panini. I know when I went to that coach's clinic with Kyra Elsie, all the Kentucky Panini cards were still in the Joe Kraft Center. The ones that had made the NBA. So I didn't know if Panini was maybe the only brand that did it or. Bowman. Okay. Yeah. I still watch Letterman on YouTube. His official channel is great, but there's an unofficial channel by Don Giller that has all full episodes. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I want to see or care about full episodes, but I'd like to just watch a show of all top 10s. Speak of the devil. I told y'all if y'all spoke about him, he'd pop up. I'm just kidding. What's up, Clyde? How you doing, buddy? Donruss and okay. But Bowman U is the one that does the college cards. I see. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm out of the card game. I've been out of the card game for a long, long time. I spent a lot of money I remember back in the day when that Frank Thomas Topps, or maybe, it was a Topps card, I think, or maybe a Donruss card or whatever. When he was down on one knee holding the bat, it was his rookie card. I went live at 9:30. I put it on Twitter, Facebook. I went live right about 9:31, maybe. I may be a minute off, but yeah. Letterman and Saturday Night Live. I just thought maybe there's my boy Dylan Grant. Stay hot, old bud. Stay hot. That's pretty good. Well, Clyde, I thought maybe you were checking out one of the Arkansas podcasts. I know how you're a big Cal fan. I thought maybe you were checking out one of their shows. Actually, I was supposed to go live tomorrow with the Mega Podcast, but Austin has tickets to Game 3 of the TBT, so he's moved Wednesday back to Thursday. So Thursday I'll actually be on Austin's show. And with the Mega Podcast. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Because they all go there. Oh, I just thought maybe they might have had you on as a new fan or something. I was hoping maybe you were trolling them to getting on there and telling them to stay hot. Yeah, I'm honestly probably going to stop here at 12. I'm already tired. I've got to figure some things out before Thursday. I'd like to be able to stream that from my channel too, so we both can get the views. But if I can't, no big deal. Sweet. Yeah, I've got some that I've been watching too that, I usually try to get a couple shows behind, so when I ain't doing nothing, I can put on one of those to catch up. The Doomsday trailer. I have not seen that, but I'll take your all's word for it. I don't watch many movies, guys. I watch TV series, but I don't watch many movies. How do you all? Do y'all watch some movies? Or do y'all ever watch like TV series? I love on Netflix, Harlan Coben. He's a good author, but he's turned a lot of his books into mini series on Netflix. Got like 8 episodes. If you get a chance, check those out. Clyde's excited for the Doomsday. Crash seems to be excited too. I've been watching. I've already seen that. I'm telling you, Dylan. I'm telling you, Harlan Coben miniseries, they're fire. That latest one, the last one he just put out, it was really good. It was really good. Oh, I've seen that Worst Neighbor ever. I've also seen there's a show on the Identity Channel or the ID Channel, and it was called The Worst Neighbor Ever. And there's a lot of neighbors in the country that ending up in jail because they can't get along, because they're just so bad neighbors. I've seen every one of those, Dylan, but the one I'm talking to is I Will Find You. It's the newest Coben on Netflix called I Will Find You. It's really, really good. Is Doomsday a movie? I don't have any idea. Neil Floyd says yes, Peanut. Blues Brothers and Roseanne. Oh, so is Doomsday a DC or Marvel? I don't watch any of that crap. My brother's into that stuff, not me. KSR talks about a lot of shows. They've talked about The Wire. They've talked about the Watcher, I think, or something else. They've talked about all kinds of shows. But no, seriously, go look at Harlan Coben's TV series is on Netflix. They're fire. It's the new Avengers movie coming out with Doctor Doom as the antagonist. Well, White Lotus is one they talk about. I don't even know who Doctor Doom is. It's a new one coming out in December. Yeah, I don't watch any kind of Marvel, DC comic, anything. I don't watch any of that stuff. I give up on movies. Disclosure Day was supposed to be this generational movie, and it was about like one of those B movies you find at a bin at Walmart. Absolutely. I didn't watch White Lotus. I heard it was good, but I just haven't watched it. I'm not saying I won't watch it. I just haven't. I'll tell you another show I liked. I didn't think I'd like Yellowstone, but Yellowstone was really good. I probably need to start the other one. Well, I don't know. I mean, sports are about over. I wouldn't call the Reds good sports right now. My kids went and saw the Odyssey, and they loved it. TBT, I don't know if that's good sports, but I'll watch it. There's no college basketball, no college football until September. What else is on in July? NBA playoffs are out. I love Tarantino. Yellowstone is fantastic. I agree. Severance. Yes. Severance. Yes. I forgot about that one. That's that thriller series. I started it but never finished it. It's really good. It's been renewed for a season 3. World Cup was good. I agree, but it's over now. 1883, I agree. But what's that new one with the Dutton Ranch? Is that the name of a show now or something? Yeah, a lot of those guys are out of shape, and it's just not. 1883 was a spinoff of Yellowstone. Oh, or actually, I think 1883 happened before, like it's kind of before Yellowstone in the chronological timeline. Dutton Ranch, yes. Harrison Ford, okay. I like 1883 of Sam Elliott. He's one of my favorites. We got a lot of rain and heavy winds. We didn't get any tornadoes. There's been rumor of a tornado hitting or touching ground somewhere down around Maysville. I don't know if David's still on here or not, but he would know. David sent me a video clip today of all the rain in Maysville, and it was tough. Yeah, I agree. And I'm a big Sam Elliott fan. Love Sam Elliott. Something about that voice. He's got that real deep one. I like it. Landman, yes. I've heard that. I haven't watched that yet. Oh, my gosh. Reacher will be out August 1. Reacher might be my favorite show, and how season 3 ended. I can't wait for the next one. Or maybe it's 4 seasons. The 4th season. Or no, it's 3. Season 4 is scheduled to premiere on August 12th on Prime Video. So it's August 12th. Old Wildcat of the Mountains, August 12th. No, not too close to Owen County. No. Pendleton County is close to Grant, and Grant's neighboring with Owen, but I live in Bracken County in Augusta, which is pretty far away. Over an hour. Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. Oh man, I love Reacher. Don't get me wrong, I love it. Yep, we're going to start season 4. We had a warning on Casey and Lincoln County, but no confirmed touchdown. Yeah. My daughter actually works in Maysville at the movie theater, and she had to be at work at 4. They called her in to come in at 2 or 3, maybe 2, come in early because they were busy. And she gets there early. Then she calls me at 5 o'clock and is like, "What's the weather like?" And I'm like, "Well, it's sunny out here now. We just went through a lot of rain and heavy winds." She's like, "Well, they're sending me home because of the weather's now in Maysville." So she went to Maysville for about an hour of work, which hold on. Hey, they've already renewed Reacher for season 5. Mountains or Old Wildcat of the Mountains. So we're going to get him for a couple more seasons. That dude's one big dude, but whoo! I just told a Tennessee fan to stop dating their cousin. Hey, listen. When Ryan Lemon does that Hate Tennessee week and he puts those pictures of those women chewing tobacco on Twitter, that cracks me up so much. Oh, he's so good. So good. But, I'm not going to lie. Like, I love all the characters. Like that Paulie that was the other big guy that was kind of like the big enemy. That guy was huge. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it did feel different. I agree. Um, yeah, I did see that. I thought about, maybe football, one of the weekly shows we could do a hate week on the team we're playing, kind of like roast them, kind of like Charles Barkley and San Antonio women. Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. I like all the characters in Reacher, and I can't wait. I didn't realize it was coming out in a few weeks. I go back to school. My first day is August 12th, so I'll be tired and wore out when I get home, ready to watch Reacher and go to bed. Yeah, very justified, but some of those times that stuff happens, they do it for a quick chance to sue somebody just for a quick get rich scheme. You know, that happens a lot of different places, but oh, is that where he whoops all those people in the jail room? Yeah, Justified was good. I agree. Yeah, I think I know what scene you're talking about. That is really, really good. Really, 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 really good. Getting tired. Um, I don't know. There's just something about this last season that I liked. I usually don't. I usually think seasons can play themselves out, um, and there can be too many. Like one of my favorite series of all time is Prison Break, but I think the last couple seasons of Prison Break, they could have not had them and ended the show just fine. And they seem like they kept it going a little too long to where it become really unrealistic. But I love Prison Break. Oh, listen, you need to start a season one and watch Reacher. Really good. Really good. And if you've never seen The Ranch with Ashton Kutcher, it's a great show. Really funny. 30-minute episodes, so you get through them just like that. Prison Break was the show. Yeah, I just not a fan of it. Just not a fan of it. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's still hot right now, but it's going to at least, I think the high is going to be 78 tomorrow, and then 76 tomorrow, 78 Thursday, 78 Friday. Then we get barely back into the 80s. The mayor of Kingstown is great. Okay. I'll put that down. I don't know if I've heard anybody say that or have heard of that show. So what streaming service is it on? I got Amazon Prime. I've got a lot of streaming services. Amazon Prime's what Reacher's on. Reacher's on Amazon Prime. I do not subscribe to like HBO Max or anything like that. Longmire, yes, I've heard that. Yes, I've seen Dexter. It was really, 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 really good. Yeah, and plus with this rain, you might have to wait a couple of days before you can mow. Okay, Paramount Plus. I got that. Okay, I can watch that. Invincible. I think I've seen a movie called Invincible. I don't know about a series. What streaming service, Holly? I'm a fan. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was getting that confused with, yeah. I know what Longmire is. Okay. I was getting that confused with Landman, but yeah, I got you. Amazon Prime. Oh, is Invincible an animated show? Oh, never mind. I don't want to know. Never mind. I don't watch animated shows. Sorry. I don't even watch Disney movies. The closest I'll get to an animated show is Pixar. I love like Toy Story and those type shows. Yeah, I love Amazon Prime. I'm not gonna lie. Have you all ever seen Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton? Season 1 of Goliath is one of the better seasons of any show I've ever watched. I love season 1. Season 2 was okay. So I like Goliath on Amazon Prime, but also like there's another one too I like on there. Oh, I got that, Neil, but I don't watch animated shows though. All right, Holly, if you say so, I guess you could talk me into it. I'll give it a shot. But I would recommend Goliath if you have Amazon Prime. And what is that other show on Goliath with that cop that retires? Goliath. Yeah, I agree. Very violent and adult content. Oh, adult content. Now you're talking. Yeah, Goliath is where Billy Bob Thornton is a lawyer. He's like an old drunker that kind of retired from law that kind of gets back in it. What is that? It starts with a B, I think. That other Amazon Prime show. Amazon Originals. Murder 101. That's a new series. That sounds good. Batter Santa's a great. I wouldn't have guessed that there, Major Frank Burns. Reacher's a bad, bad dude, man. He's a bad, bad dude. Jack Ryan, it's on Amazon Prime. It's not bad either. I didn't like it when I was younger, but I love it now. Netflix, Wayward is a good thriller teen psych ward show. Okay. I've never watched Game of Thrones or Sons of Anarchy. I'm looking for this show on Amazon Prime, and I can't think of what starts with a B. And it was a popular show. I get Paramount Plus. I do get it. No, it ain't Bewitched, Peanut. What is that show? It's got a guy that's got kind of a flat top, older man, retired cop or detective. It's similar type show to Goliath. Oh, it's this Boetsch, maybe Bosch. Let me see how you spell Bosch. Bosch. Yes, that's a good show. Bosch. That's what I was thinking of. Guy's name's Harry Bosch. Really good show. Yeah, that's it. Blacklist is really good. Is that the one with Red Reddington? Is that right? Blacklist, Red Reddington? Really good show. Chicago PD? Is that what you're talking about? They make auto parts? I like a lot of the Law and Order, SVU, Law and Order, just plain. I like all the Law and Orders. Yeah, Blacklist is good. Oh, do I ever? Do I ever? Oh my. The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. Yes, I remember them. Yeah, okay, Bosch is a detective. I haven't watched Chicago PD. I like the old CSIs. I like CSI the original the best. Then I like CSI Miami with Horatio Kane, and I like New York too with or Las Vegas, New York. I like them all. I know they are. I finally figured it out. That's why I ain't addressed it. Peanut has the ability to piss people off. Jesco, I don't even know what that is, but somebody needs to invent a computer chair that's designed for good posture. The first plane I was on back from Vegas to Texas, they had the part of the back of your seat that you could adjust and pull around to where it keeps your head still. Play that Law and Order theme. I can. They'll strike me. It's copyrighted music. You get striked more than anything for copyrighted music. I guess YouTube's got somebody that watches every show you put up. Now they always give you the option to take it out and reload it back, but I'm not trying to do all that. That's honestly, I mean, Hannibal. Yes, good call. Good call. Yeah, but I don't know what I'm going to do here in 3 minutes when I get off here. I got a couple shows I need to watch. I might go to sleep. Probably going to get me a bottle of water or something. I'm getting really dry. I'm diabetic, so my mouth stays dry all the time. But I'm diabetic, so I always got to have something to drink, and I'm not going to be drinking a Pepsi this late. Oh, that's great. That's great. You know what I found on YouTube this week that's been entertaining? And, of course, it's not as entertaining as it used to be because it kind of came out that it was put on. But like the Turtle Man. Remember old Turtle Man? When he would go into people's houses and get the critters out? No, you're good. You can even come on here and sing it all you want. I just can't play it. It's got a kind of a catchy tune, though. If I heard it, I'd want to be playing it over and over and over and over and over. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys. Remember, even if something happens and I don't go on the Mega Podcast Thursday, I'll do my own show Thursday. I'm going to try to figure it out how to stream it on both sides. When you're bored this week, check out the merch store. Get you a shirt. And don't just stay hot, but remind everybody else to stay hot as well. If you buy some of the new designs, you can get T-shirts for $16. That's 33% off, so that's always a great deal. So thank you guys for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys Thursday either on here or BBN Unfiltered's Mega Podcast. Either way, and we'll try to stream it on my channel too. So I'll see you guys Thursday. Stay tuned, stay safe, and stay hot.